Hello there, my very good friends. Andy here with another WhatCulture wrestling news update. On this video, we are going to talk the WrestleMania match that could be in serious jeopardy. I mean, the show starts in a couple of hours. Be nice for an update. We've got it right here. On top of that, we're going to talk Becky Lynch, the latest on her WWE status after she showed up last night at the Hall of Fame. We're also going to talk about two of the coolest bands of all time potentially playing live at WrestleMania. And on top of all of that, another major return, the latest on Rusev and Lana. In fact, I'm Andy, this is the news, and if you're wondering where SmackDown's ups and downs for this week are, we've had a little bit of a delay on the production side, but don't worry, they are coming to you. Simon Miller's not going to let you down. They just might be up at a little bit of a weird time. But we're going to start off this news update by talking about, one of the WrestleMania matches that might be in trouble. We're still awaiting official confirmation from WWE of what actually is going to happen here. They might not announce anything in advance. They might just do an on-the-night switch and move a few things around. But the match in question is Rey Mysterio versus Grande Americano, who is definitely not Chad Gable. No chance whatsoever that is Chad Gable. Last night on SmackDown, Rey Mysterio was seen limping to the back. He had to be helped to the back, having seemingly injured his leg while competing. And this has obviously led to speculation that the Grande Americano match is indeed in jeopardy. It's a difficult one because we don't know the severity of the injury yet. There haven't been any major updates on Rey's condition. No word on whether or not he'll be okay to compete. It's something that obviously you hope is not serious. You hope maybe he's just sprained his knee or something like that, and it's something that he can work through within a couple of weeks. You hope it's not something more serious because Rey Mysterio rocks, and I mean, who doesn't love Rey Mysterio? If you don't love Rey Mysterio, I'm just going to disagree with you. I'm not going to fight you or anything like that. That'd be stupid. It's only wrestling. God, Andy, why are you being so weird? But yeah, makes you wonder what they might do instead. You'd imagine that they would find another luchador to pair up with Grande Americano. That's the storyline. It's not Chad Gable, but Chad Gable's been having trouble with the luchadors this year. Maybe it's a good chance to get Rey Fenix on the card, for example. And then you can have a little showcase match for him. It is kind of like, it's an unfortunate situation because it feels like you're booking an episode of Raw more than the biggest show of the year, or SmackDown, of course. But what can you do when somebody gets hurt? It's just one of those things. The injury bug can strike at any time. It doesn't care who you are. It does not care that WrestleMania is tonight. The injury bug is a complete asshole. He's the worst bug in the world. He's worse than the Millennium Bug. He's worse than Battle Bugs. He's worse than every cockroach on the planet. He's just a loser guy. I hate him. So basically at this stage it's a case of wishing well for Rey Mysterio, hoping that the injury is not too severe, and waiting and seeing what we end up with instead. If this match is in trouble, there are plenty of potential opponents that they could throw in there that will be appropriate for the ongoing storyline. Obviously not as appropriate as Rey because he's the king of the luchadors, especially in the USA, where he's been immensely successful. So let's see what happens. I'm sure there will be further news before the event. Or maybe they'll just swerve us on the night. Who the heck knows? Anyway, before we move on to our second story, a quick word from our sponsors at Surfshark.
It's WrestleMania week. We are here in Las Vegas, courtesy of Surfshark, who are sponsoring all of our content. And Surfshark's VPN is just fantastic. It makes sure all of your stuff stays private and secure when you're out and about online, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Not only that, but it allows you to change your virtual location to access all your favorite content as well, which means you can watch all of WWE shows on Netflix, not just Raw, but SmackDown and NXT too. Plus, no ads whatsoever, which means you'd also get to see all the extra content us Brits get to see. Stuff like this.
Can I have an autograph, please?
Your town sucks, kid! Just click the link in the description and use code WhatCultureMania at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to talk about Becky Lynch. Now, she caused a bit of a stir last night because she showed up at the WWE Hall of Fame. She was shown there. It was the first time she's been on WWE programming in the best part of a year. Becky's obviously been taking a lot of time off. She's got a young family now. She's been a mom. She's been, chilling, doing her own thing here, there, and everywhere. She did an interview quite recently where she was like, yeah, I might return someday, but maybe not right now. Well, apparently speculation is now going through the roof that Becky might be back in WWE imminently, and we've got a report here actually from PW Insider that comes along those lines. The outlet reports that she's expected back on WWE television very soon, potentially as soon as WrestleMania. and she could return as part of a major angle on the show. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes of that. She is believed, or rumoured, to have re-signed with WWE back in January. That's 3 months ago. And you'd imagine it's only ever going to be a matter of time when it comes to Becky Lynch. I mean, nobody seriously thought she was going to jump ship or anything like that. Like, WWE's been very good for her. Why would you go anywhere else? Unless you want to just try a new environment or something. But then again, you know, when Becky's had a really interesting career. She's retired once before. She's taken a long time off. Comes back, breaks big in WWE, becomes the biggest star in the company for WrestleMania 35. She's a huge name with huge cachet, and she's going to be welcomed back with open arms anytime she wants. When she does interviews and she says, yeah, I'm not returning now, obviously you have to take it with a pinch of salt because she's a wrestler. Wrestlers are their job is to lie to you, right? Their job is to fool you into things. It's work and all of that stuff. So you can't take interviews at face value, even if it's someone like Becky, who's a consummate professional. It's just one of those things. You know, you gotta remember that this whole thing is a big bad work at the end of the day. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of angle they might get her involved with. We've got obviously a bunch of different women's matches on the cards, from Naomi versus Jay Campbell to the women's tag team title match with Lyra Valkyria, who Becky obviously has history with. Same with Bayley. They're facing the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and then you've got the two obvious top tier women's title matches, the triple threat, and then Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. There's lots of interesting opportunities for a Becky Lynch in 2025, and you can never have too many big names around on the roster. I think that she would get a tremendous reception. She's been gone more than long enough to guarantee that, and she was already a fan favourite. And look, man, it's Becky Lynch. You're always going to benefit from having her on the roster. Her NXT run, shortly before she dipped, I thought did a really good job of elevating people on that brand and lifting up a little bit. She's kind of at that stage in her career, right? She doesn't necessarily need the big title wins anymore. She could just spend the rest of her career working with people who are on the rise and getting them over, getting them to the next level. But also, she's still pretty damn excellent at absolutely everything. I don't think there's any sign that Becky Lynch has declined whatsoever. So you could use her in any role you want. Face, heel, doesn't matter. Tag team, singles, whatever. Extremely versatile. People love her. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer return, and I'd like to see it sooner rather than later. Okay, our next story here. Now, this is cool. Live music at WrestleMania. Who's going to have a band playing them out? We see it every single year. Sometimes it may be good, Joan Jett. Sometimes maybe less good. I won't name any because I'm not going to be mean. But there's word that a couple of wrestlers could have those live performances this year. The first report comes from PW Insider talking about the possibility of Living Colour playing CM Punk to the ring with Cult of Personality. Living Colour actually played here in Vegas on Fremont Street. I think it was last night actually. So they've been in town at the very least, and Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns is headlining tonight. It wouldn't, it's quite easy to see how that could work out. It would be pretty sick, man. It would be pretty sick. But the other one, the report here comes from Fightful, and this is very interesting to me personally, talking about WWE had considered bringing in Slayer to play Damian Priest to the ring for his match with Drew McIntyre, playing South of Heaven, presumably. It's the name of his finisher. It's a badass song too. Edge has used it in WWE before. It'd be fun. I'd love that. I haven't seen Slayer live since like 2006, something like that. It's obviously a very different band now. Jeff is no longer with us, rest in peace. And they've had a few lineup changes along the way. But look, it's Slayer, brother. Like, this is the kind of thing that speaks to my heart and my soul. When I was like a 10-year-old running around the house listening to Rain in Blood. You can't beat that stuff. So I love a live music performance at WrestleMania. These are two bands that I really enjoy. I'm going to mark out. You going to mark out? Let me know. Either way, I think that Slayer playing Damian Priest to the ring could be one of the most badass things of all time on a pro wrestling show. So see if it pans out. I'd really enjoy that. Interesting to note that we've got those two there, and they're both quite hard bands, especially Slayer, obviously. I love it, man. I love it. Especially at a time when, you know, the theme songs for events and stuff like that. I'm not saying they all need to be rock and roll or whatever, but, you know, they've gone in a more poppy, cleaner direction. They don't need to be metal songs. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. So it'd be nice to have a bit of grit in the live performances, I think. But hey, look, we're going to get to the final story here, and we're going to talk about Rusev and Lana. This is an ongoing saga. PW Insider reported recently that Rusev had re-signed. He'd been at WWE headquarters, the former Miro, of course, in AEW, but he was Rusev before that. And there's been all kinds of speculation on when he's going to turn up. Now, he's in Vegas. We got another update here from PW Insider. Rusev is in Vegas with Lana. And the word making the rounds is that Lana is about to sign a WWE Legends deal. And as for Rusev, he is expected to start any time with WWE. So the interesting spot, I think, for Rusev at the moment is we have the Randy Orton Open Challenge at WrestleMania. Obviously, Kevin Owens no longer able to compete. He has got a very serious neck injury. He was going to face Randy initially. We have that spot wide open. Is Rusev the best choice for that? You can debate that. Obviously, there's a pay-per-view, coming up in St. Louis, and maybe they want to heat Randy Orton up, so maybe they want, this is his hometown of course, maybe they want him to win at WrestleMania before they go down that route, which would make Rusev an unideal option, because if he's coming back in, you probably want him to win his first match, right, at the very least, unless you subscribe to the idea that they're testing him, but I think that's kind of silly personally. So maybe if Randy has to win at Mania, that's not the best choice, but if Randy doesn't have to win, I think it's a great choice. You can't get much better than beating a guy who is held in such reverence in the company. So, or maybe they'll just wait till the Raw after WrestleMania or the SmackDown next week. There's all kinds of options. They don't need to throw him in that mystery slot by any stretch. They will have no shortage of good choices to do, good Rusev things, shall we say. And hey, look, if Lana's coming along and she's signing a Legends deal, that suggests she's only going to be here every now and then, not every week. There was a report the other week that was like she's not coming in full time. So this all aligns, this all adds up together. A Legends deal is very different to a full-time deal, as you know, dear viewer. So yeah, let's see what comes of it. In terms of who could face Randy Orton if it's not Rusev, I mean, there's all kinds of good options. Almost my guy. I'd love to see the big man on pay-per-view, but again, it's a tricky situation. It's tough. But yeah, there we go. Big update for today's news. Thank you for joining me for this little update. We'll have more videos throughout the day. We'll have some stand and deliver coverage soon. We'll have WrestleMania coverage, of course. It's a big day. It's a busy day. Hope you're ready for it. Hope you're having a good time. And while you're here, why not check out this right here? It's the 100 greatest WrestleMania moments. You've still got time. You've still got time to watch this before the show, man. Go on. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Bye.